لكن تحديت الظروف وخضتها وحدي صبورا مستعينا بالصلاة. كم مرة عصف الأنين بداخلي، كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أسى محن تمر، وكم كرهت مصابها.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. ما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem to all the Muslims around the world who is tuning in. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this month prosperous for you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your ibadat and all your fasting and all your adhkar and all your dua. Most importantly, please make dua for Palestine and all the Muslims around the world who are suffering. As you know, we're having huge meals. Unfortunately, we shouldn't, but the spread is always mixed with different types of food. So just please make sincere and special dua for our brothers and sisters in Palestine who have been starving for many, many weeks and months. Now, on the charity transparency issue, many videos have been recorded highlighting the issue of Palestine and the important matters of transparency which has been ignored because it's indeed a business. About a month ago, me and Hafiz Osama from Rerun discussed the abuse of the verse in Surah Tawbah, where the zakat is distributed to 8 groups of people, and one of them was وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, those who collect. So you obviously, the sadaqat is for the fuqara wal masakeen, وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, and those who are hearts and inclined, and the traveller, and fi sabilillah. We know the tafsirs are obviously clear as to who they are. Now, National Zakat Foundation, it's from the UK, and many charities boldly, in fact, which you'll see, that they say, yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to take it. Without going into the details, which is shocking. So let's listen to one of the ex-CEOs of the National Zakat Foundation.
Whenever people raise this issue, usually the first thing I say to them is, well, Allah himself supports admin. So what's your problem? Basically, in the context of the zakah, by the way, right? So of the 8 categories of zakah, the third is the amilin, the workers. Allah is telling you, use some zakah to pay the workers. The idea of, using zakah to do that nowadays for people is like, oh, no, this might be something wrong with that. Rather, Allah is encouraging it because He knows that part and parcel of the way to develop and build these things is you've got to support the infrastructure for these things to happen.
Allah supports admin. Allah supports admin in this verse. Uqsam billahi al-ali al-azim, these Western-centric Muslims need to give it up. Don't speak about Islam if you have no knowledge. Yes, you'll have these ulama, these maqasidis, these, try to fit everything with analogies to give you backing. But let's go to the classical understanding of Islam. But he mentioned Iqbal is the former chief executive of the National Zakat Foundation, the UK's only zakat institution pioneering the concept of local zakat. For his work at NZF, he was awarded an MBE for services for tackling poverty and community development, etc., etc. Now, let's educate him, because yes, he would have these Western woke imams that will give him justification that they can take a share. We'll get into, well, how do you know what you can take and what you can't take? Because we're going to get into the classical understanding, who this ayat was applied to, and also a contemporary scholar. You don't have the right to have the share of the zakat. Okay, let's go into it. So as you can see on screen, we've got a little bit more by Imam al-Nawawi rahmatullah alayh, and he said that Shafi'i wal ashabu rahimahumullah in kana mufarriqu zakat huwa al-malikun aw wakiluhu saqat an-nasib al-aam. Shafi'i and his companions mentioned that if the distributor of the zakat is the owner of the wealth or a wakil, right, saqat an-nasib al-aamil, that it drops, meaning they are not amil. So today's Jam'iyyah Khairiyat, the charitable organizations, are not amil. They are wakil. They are wukala. They are not nuwab al-baytul mal. Okay? They are not nuwab of baytul mal. وَوَجَبَ صَرْفُهَا إِلَى الْأَصْنَافِ السَّبْعَةِ الْبَاقِينَ إِن وُجِدُوا وَإِلَّا فَالْمَوْجُودُ مِنْهُمْ. That he mentions that, and it's obligatory, that the expenditure is given to the remaining 7 if you find them. So the wakil and the malik does not qualify as a amil. Today's Jam'iyya Khairiyya are not ummal. They are not representatives of Baytul Mal, and they are not liable for the zakat. They are wukala. They are representatives.
قال والعاملين عليها والعاملون عليهم السعاة بشرط أن يكونوا نوابا عن بيت مال المسلمين. وأما الذين يأخذون الزكاة ويفرقونها ولم يكونوا نوابا عن بيت مال المسلمين فليسوا عمالا وإنما هم وكلاء، فلا يجوز لهم أن يأخذوا من الزكاة شيئا. بعض الناس يكون محسن، يقول عندي فقراء أعطني المال، أنت لست عامل، أنت وكيل، وبناء عليه لا يجوز لك أن تأخذ من الزكاة شيئا. فرق بين العامل والوكيل، وبعض الناس قد يتوسع ويظن أن الوكيل هو العامل وليس كذلك.
By Imam Ibn Abdul Barr, and he mentions قال Malik said that the amil here, that they do not have a share of the sadaqah farida, meaning the zakat, right? إلا على قدر ما يرى الإمام, except what the imam, meaning the leader, the wali al-amr, the sultan or the wali or the whoever it may be, they decide. Not you, investment banker, or not any person that opens up a charity and says, وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, we have a share of it. Then Imam Ibn Abdul Barr mentions, as per the verse, وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, that there's no khilaf. فَلَا خِلَافَ بَيْنَ الْفُقَهَاءِ الْأَمْصَارِ, that there's no khilaf from the fuqaha of the provinces of Islam, that the amil has no share, okay, whether it be, which is known, whether it's an eighth or a seventh or a sixth, but is given based on his work. But who is the one that decides? The imam, the ruler. No, like you're not nawab of Baytul Mal, you are wukala. You have no share. You have no share of this at all. And then he mentions, وَقَالَ أَبُو حَنِيفُ وَأَصْحَابُهُ يُعْتَى الْعَامِلُونَ عَلَى مَا that the Hanafi madhab that I subscribe to mentions, and his companions, that they have no share, the amilun alayha have no share except what the imam decides. What, who? The imam decides. Now coming back to me now. So Iqbal Nasim is out the question. The investment banker leave him to one side. But we're talking about, this is known, that your zakat money that you're giving gets distributed. And there was an issue as well back in 2019 that they were giving, money because they decide. So when they get millions and millions of pounds, right, they give it to whoever because they decide. No, you don't. You don't have a share in the sadaqatul farida except illa what? Except what the imam decides. Imam. So are you the imams now? You open up a charity. Any Tom, Dick and Harry opens up a charity now and says, وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, I'm going to decide. So you get a fifth. So we collected 10 million. We're going to keep 300,000 for ourselves, 400,000 because we're عَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا. Yeah, but 10. So continuing on. We've got Imam Kasani's book, Bada'i Sana'i, and he mentions that وَأَمَّا الْعَامِلُونَ عَلَيْهَا فَهُمَ الَّذِينَ نَصَبَهُمَ الْإِمَامُ لِجِبَايَةِ الصَّدَقَاتِ, that the amilin or the amilun are those who are being appointed by the imam to collect the sadaqat. And it says وَاخْتَلَفَ فِيمَا يُعْطُونَ قَالَ أَصْحَابُنَا يُعْطِيهِمُ الْإِمَامُ كِفَايَتَهُم مِنْهَا وَقَالَ الشَّافِعِي يُعْطِيهُم ثَمَنًا. So he mentions that the ulama differ as to what they are given. And our ashab in Ahnaf mentions that the imam gives them what is sufficient. The imam, the CEO, investment banker. As you can see on screen, Ibn Uthaymin mentioned الثالث, the third category. Al-amiluna alayha, the one that collect for it. They're the ones that have been given this task from the leader. Okay? وَلِهَذَا قَالَ وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, and this is why they're called the ones that work towards it. وَلَمْ يَقُولْ, and they're not called al-amiluna fiha. So you see, it's وَالْعَامِلُونَ عَلَيْهَا or وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, that they've been tasked for it. But it's not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says al-amilina fiha, that they've been tasked towards it. You see, there has to be an order. And then, meaning that there's an ishara that it's from the leadership. And they're the ones that collect the zakat, or they do the collection and whatnot, and they split it, and they write it and whatnot. So coming back to me now. So National Zakat Fund ain't the only one. Penny appeal, for example, been in the news. They're always in the news, scandals and whatnot. As £40,000 the sister was talking about, they never built anything. Even sending texts, you can see on screen, or even sending stupid texts. They're mercenaries. They're fundraising mercenaries. And this is the problem. You'll find them requesting your donations, and they are taking your zakat money. I assure you, they're taking your zakat money. I'm not saying all. Others may take in different ways. And again, it all comes down to the costs, and there'll be a video released on Lebanon, so there's another video coming out soon, and that will settle it. They collect their money, a share, they'll split amongst themselves. Some might use وَلَعَمْلُونَ عَلَيْهَا. Some, because of the currency exchange, they're not really spending all of it. So that, you know what I mean? You got other liabilities, you got restricted funds, unrestricted funds. Just remember, the Jam'iyya Khairiyya in the UK are businesses. They are businesses. Yes, they will work towards collecting donations, but they are indeed businesses. They're not from the rulers. And really and truly, those in the West profit from charity. I assure you, they profit from charity. And that doesn't degrade those who work hard towards collecting the money. And there are some charities, again, I'm not saying all, that are more transparent than others. I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean because I haven't seen it, doesn't mean that they're not. But believe you me, there's issues in the charity sector. So, yeah, وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, Allah supports admin. Allah supports admin. Go figure. So take care of yourselves. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني تمر ساعة